In this lecture, we will learn how to increase the loudness level. After recording the audio, you have to do some post-processing for the final output. One of the things in post-processing is adjusting the loudness level. You also need to remove the unwanted parts from the recording. Let's assume you have completed recording something and now listening back to the recording. As you listen back, you would like to remove some unwanted parts. A good volume level at this point will make this task easier. Let's listen to the raw recording for a couple of seconds and show you what I mean by that.
Audacity is a pretty good software for voiceover recording and editing.
Compared to the volume level of my current narration, the volume of the recording is low. A good volume level will make the audio cleaning process easy. There are a couple of ways to do that. The first option is to use the gain slider. I will play and adjust the gain slider, and you will hear the difference.
Audacity is a pretty good software for voiceover recording and editing. If you can get good recording, noise-free recording, then Audacity may be the only software you need to produce excellent final audio. Many professional voiceover artists or audiobook narrators also use Audacity.
Increasing loudness through the gain slider is easy, but you have to be careful. You should move back and set the gain slider to 0 dB after you listened and cleaned the audio, because you will have to do some processing on the audio based on its loudness level. If you increase the gain and start processing, you will apply the wrong configuration. Increasing the volume in the gain slider does not show the change in the waveform. I showed you this option as this is an easy thing to do when you need to quickly listen to some audio a bit louder. Another alternative and better solution is to apply the Normalize effect. With Normalize effect, you do not have to worry about processing with the wrong configuration down the road. It is very early to go into the details of the audio effect, but you can easily understand this. Select everything inside the track by double-clicking and go to Effect. Browse to the volume and compression, and go to Normalize. I am not discussing the details at this point, I will do it later. The maximum allowed value for Normalize is 0, and the audio becomes most loud at 0. After applying the Normalize, the waveform changed. Normalizing to 0 dB may make the sound too loud, so I would suggest normalizing to -3 dB. -3 is the commonly accepted value for normalization. Normalize to -3 also can point out an issue with the recording. I will undo the changes and go back to the raw waveform. This is the waveform after recording, and if I normalize it to -3, the waveform should grow vertically. Keep an eye on the waveform. You see how the height of the waveform increased. If the waveform does not grow after applying on the raw recording, you have to take special measures to improve the overall sound. I have another Audacity project having such an issue. You can see an abrupt high peak in the middle. If I normalize the audio to -3, the waveform will shrink instead of grow. This is the raw recording, and the shrink of the waveform makes the audio quieter. We will eventually learn how to tackle this kind of issue as we go along. For now, check on your raw audio with Normalize. Normalize to -3, and if everything works as expected, you are ready for the next step. If normalizing to -3 is not working as it should, you have to record another piece of audio with the best practices for recording.